Hi everybody, how's everybody doing today? This is a continuation video of my last video, the narcissistic sociopath at the workplace, the malignant narcissist, and I keep on talking about these topics when I am with family and friends sometimes. So I also think that it would be a good idea to talk about it online here on my YouTube channel. I don't create a lot of videos online about this topic simply because I don't want it to become a ritual, like every day I'm popping out a video that has to do with narcissism and sociopathy, simply because life is not all about that. There are other things that we can enjoy in life, such as just relaxing and just being ourselves and just living every day in a positive, healthy way. So everything doesn't have to be revolved about narcissism. If you go online and look the disorder and search about the disorder and narcissistic personality disorder and the malignant narcissist and all of that, the videos and the YouTube channels that has to do with this topic are insane. They are everywhere and they are just too much, and it becomes very consuming. It's like it's a monster on its own. So that's crazy, number one. Number two, there are a lot of other resources online, so I'm not the source about narcissism. So if other people want to watch videos about narcissism, there are so many videos out there about every thing that would come to mind when it comes to people who are malignant narcissists. But also, I would like to add my own experiences and perspectives about this topic. So someone who's your co-worker who's a malignant narcissist, and it's funny because someone who is a grandiose narcissist, it's the overt type, it's really easy to figure out that there is something unnatural about them, because the way that they are boastful and the way that they are aggressive and the way that they are really in your face, that within itself is a red flag that this person is not someone who is a normal, who is a neurotypical. But the covert narcissist is another complete story, and I do really find the covert narcissist to be much more difficult to detect, like extremely way much more difficult to detect. And also the covert narcissist is more dangerous, because the covert narcissist, you don't know what's really happening until it is too late, unless if you are an expert on narcissism, then you would be able to kind of know how to maneuver and how to handle a covert narcissist. But if you are someone who doesn't know, who's not like an expert, which most of us are not, who's not an expert on covert narcissism, that's a really dangerous type of narcissism, because the covert narcissist, he is your friend in your face, but in your back he is really the enemy. He is very jealous, he's very vindictive, and he engages in smear campaigns. And so the one that I'm dealing with is a covert narcissist. He is malignant, of course, which means he has psychopathy. And he's also Machiavellianist. I've noticed, not very recently, it's been a while since I have noticed that, but he's also Machiavellianist. And that is the dark triad trait, which is he's a narcissist, a covert narcissist. He's also a sociopath, and he's also Machiavellianist. And someone who is like that is a dangerous combination, because this is how it all starts. It all starts when you lose interest in your covert narcissist, malignant Machiavellianist friend. You lose interest and your attention towards this person starts being less. So he understands that as disrespect, as how dare you disrespect him, how dare you not love him as you used to be, as you used to love him. So what he does is he starts turning people against you. He starts creating this crazy smear campaign, and he starts making lies and things that really do not exist in your character, but he starts creating those false narratives about you, and he starts spreading them in the environment, in the workplace environment. And he starts really, it is really the smear campaign, and he starts doing that behind your back. And when you meet him, when you see him at work, he acts as if he is still your friend, and he smiles and he's very kind, and he gives you like a chocolate bar, and he shakes hands and he's very sweet. But when you're away, it's like a complete Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome. It's like this person has multiple characters. It's really multiple faces, multiple characters, multiple personas that this person is wearing. But when you are in front of him, he is wearing the mask of the good friend, but he really isn't. So it all starts with a narcissistic injury. The narcissistic injury could be that you start admiring a new person. You get bored of the same person, you get bored of the same friendship. So you start creating other friendships with other co-workers. So when the malignant narcissist notices that, that is a narcissistic injury. That gives him a narcissistic injury, and that creates the revenge syndrome within that malignant narcissist, and he starts trashing you in front of everyone else, and creating false narratives about you, lies, making you look like you are the bad person. And also, if he's a covert narcissist, then he teams up with other people. He starts love bombing other people, and he starts using those other people. It's like a team. He starts teaming up with other people against you, and it becomes really difficult for you to sustain yourself at the workplace and to be able to live happily in the workplace, at the workplace. So this is what he does. Someone who's a malignant covert narcissist, especially if he's Machiavellianist, he is really calculated. He would wait for the correct opportunity to really take you down. And if you don't notice what's really happening, it is really game over for you. You really don't notice what's taking place. So the malignant narcissist, the covert malignant narcissist that I was dealing with and still dealing with, he admitted to me. He said that. He said he told me what's really interesting about you is that it's very difficult to provoke you. It's very difficult to get a reaction out of you because you have such a quiet personality. So it's extremely difficult to really ruffle your feathers. So he did admit that to me. He said, you are extremely quiet, and when someone tries to provoke you or to get a reaction out of you or to frustrate you, it really doesn't work. So really, this is the mechanism that I used with him, is that I did notice him teaming up with other people against me, teaming up with other co-workers against me behind my back. And really, what he does is that he uses sensitive information. Let's say, when I was his friend, we used to talk about, at the beginning, I really didn't notice that he is a malignant narcissist and Machiavellianist. I mean, how would I notice? They really know how to hide beneath the social mask that they create. So I didn't notice. So I used to talk with him. I mean, he's really engaging. He's really fun to talk to. And he's the manager, so it's hard to dodge him. If he wants to talk with you, you kind of like would talk to him, because it's kind of rude to not engage him. So when I used to talk to him about these things, I used to talk with him about I considered him a friend, so I used to talk to him about sometimes personal things, sensitive, a little bit sensitive information, not so sensitive, but let's say he used to ask me what do I think about that other worker, about that other co-worker, and I used to tell him my honest opinion. So what happens is, after I gave him that narcissistic injury, and he no longer desires me as a friend, and he no longer wants me to stay at the workplace. What he did is that when he started teaming up with other people, he started using all of the sensitive information that we used to share when we used to talk as friends. He flipped those sensitive information, and he made me clash with those other co-workers using the sensitive information that we spoke about when we were friends. So that's his favorite technique to do, is that he likes to use that information against you and make you clash with the other staff, and he likes to create that divide and conquer situation. He likes to divide and conquer, and that's his strategy. So I have other co-workers at the workplace who are also narcissists themselves, and someone who's a narcissist, one of the huge signs is that I have this female narcissist, and she's really young. I mean, she is like 11 years younger than me, and she's really young. I mean, she's in her early 20s. So what she likes to do is that whenever she gets cornered, she starts crying. She starts manipulating you through crying, through playing the victim card. But what she also does is that when she is hurt, when she's hurt by you, she also uses sensitive information against you, like the topics that you used to talk about. She would manipulate the topic and use it to make someone else clash. She likes to use that sensitive information to create a clash between you and other people. So she also uses the same technique, but she's really young. So the thing is, she uses all of those horrible techniques at a young age, and she's still in her early 20s. So I guess her life was really difficult, or she is extremely high on narcissism, because she has really high energy, and she seems to be the type of malignant narcissist who only requires 5 hours of sleep at night, because it seems like her empathy and her amygdala is completely damaged, because it's crazy. So how to deflect that, how to stay strong when those things are happening to you. The only thing to do is not to give an emotional reaction. Again, not to be baited, not to take in the bait and start fighting back, because they want you to be in a position in which you will start defending yourself and fighting back, and they want you to fight back. And when you fight back, they would point a finger at you and say that you look crazy, you are a crazy person, you are aggressive, you are too sensitive, you are paranoid. So this is what they will do when you give them that emotional reaction. And if you start becoming angry, they would accuse you of being aggressive, of being passive aggressive, of being paranoid, and they will gaslight you. So a narcissist, and it depends if they are severe or not. So someone who's really severe and high on narcissism, and someone who's Machiavellianist, would even when you catch them in their lie, they would create another lie to cover the first lie. So they will keep on lying. They will never admit. So it's really pointless to really come face to face with them and tell them that I discovered that you have been lying, that you have been manipulating, that you have been using sensitive information against me. If you do that, they will simply deny it. They will simply gaslight you, and they will not admit, and they will not apologize. And sometimes they may apologize because they know an apology would serve their purpose and would make them seem that like they offer an apology, which means that they know that they have done something wrong, and they know that this would make you trust them again and feel like at least they have offered an apology, but they don't mean that apology. So someone, in my previous video, some people commented, like one person commented, that it's best to leave the workplace. Well, yes, okay, so that's also a good idea. But let's say you went to another job. You have applied for another job, and in that other job, after 3 months, you have discovered that your manager is also a malignant narcissist, and your coworker is a malignant narcissist, because they are everywhere. So what does that mean? It means that you need to switch your job again? No. So this is why I am really not with leaving the workplace. I am with using certain techniques to know how to handle the malignant narcissist at the workplace. And the best technique is not to give them an emotional reaction, is not to play their game. Don't play the game. And also, if it becomes too much, do say to someone that you find that the malignant narcissist is afraid of. So the malignant narcissist is basically, afraid of his manager, because they all have a manager, But let's say the manager was a little bit understanding. You can tell the manager, you can tell him, that my manager, my middle manager is, doing all of this manipulation. He's very sneaky. He does really bad things at the job. And, he's sneaky, and no one is able to figure that out, because he is very sneaky and he knows how to hide his messy behavior. And, maybe you can also say that, he is a covert narcissist, he's a malignant narcissist. Just speak up. I don't think that it is the best solution to always, if you notice that someone at the workplace is a malignant narcissist, is to change the job. Because I feel like in the workplace that I am at, a lot of them are high on narcissism, and like 3 or 4 of them, they have the full disorder. They have the full disorder. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the best strategy is to leave the workplace. You know what I mean? So that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have benefited something out of this audio recording. Have a good day. Bye bye.